Hey, hi, hello, ladies. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing a whole lot better. Thank you so much for asking. And that's for one reason. We finally have some fun drama to talk about. And not only is this fun drama, this is fun drama regarding somebody that I don't like. That is my favorite kind of drama to cover here on the channel, especially when it's meaningless and especially when both parties involved are kind of scumbags, where it's a good time to just kind of make fun of everybody involved, poke holes in the entire situation, throw gasoline all over the place, and just be the most ruthless gatekeeper that I know how to be. And that's because I am the internet's most ruthless gatekeeper. My name is Dan Frampton. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna need a like and a subscribe from you. And if you got a couple of those hype points laying around, scoot them my way, why not? I don't know what they do, but I like the word hype. So without any further ado, we gotta talk about Ronnie Radke, the singer of Falling in Reverse, because he takes another legal L. It wasn't that long ago that he lost in court to fellow YouTuber Anthony Fantano. Anthony Fantano absolutely decimated this guy in the legal system, and Ronnie Radke came onto the internet being like, it's good that I lost, actually. It's actually a good thing. I did this to lose, was his whole argument. And Ronnie was basically suing Anthony Fantano for defamation, but everything that Anthony Fantano laid out in that video was already public information, and he was just kind of riffing on him. And if you're not sure who Anthony Fantano is, he runs the Needle Drop, he reviews records, he has millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of viewers, half of them haters. But either way, it wasn't that long ago that Ronnie Radke just took an absolute smashing to this guy live, publicly on the internet, and it was wonderful to see. And Ronnie Radke's always kind of stirring shit up. He's kind of always in a little bit of drama. And also last year, this drama that we're about to talk about today, this is when it started, because in like late 2024, 2025 type era, there's this lady named Brittany Ferlin, and she is the wife of Tommy Lee, who you know most famously as the singer of Methods of Mayhem, obviously. Or if you're looking to his deep cuts, something not very many people are familiar with, maybe you know him as the drummer of Motley Crue. But most people, I would say, know him as the savant, the genius, the creative mind, the brain behind Methods of Mayhem. Well, anyway, it's been like 3 decades, maybe 4 decades since Tommy Lee has been relevant. And anyway, apparently he's married to this influencer whose name is Brittany. Last year, there was a catfishing scandal that regarded these 3 people. And it starts off with Tommy Lee sending a text message to Ronnie Radke. And it reads the following: Brittany, don't fuck with me, dude. And then Tommy responds, are you fucking with me? I never once communicated with your wife. Hold on, let me check. Then Tommy says, what the fuck are you talking about on Snapchat? You guys are supposed to have some sort of dinner date last night. And then Ronnie goes, bro, Snapchat? I don't have Snapchat. I like you, bro. I would never mess with your wife. Tommy says, that's funny because she says you're lying. What? What is going on over here? So either way, it looks like Brittany is trying to cheat on Tommy Lee with Ronnie Radke, but Ronnie Radke's like, this is not actually what's happening, it's not me. And what actually happened was Brittany Ferlin was communicating with this Snapchat account over here. And yeah, it says that it's Ronnie Radke's Snapchat, where it has like 100 plays on one of these videos, 34 plays on another one of these videos. And Ronnie Radke captioned this on his story, and he says, Brittany Ferlin got caught messaging this person and is trying to say that it's me, but it's not. Then this little meme along with it. You've been in a fake relationship with me, catfish posting as me, and that's why you and Tommy Lee are getting a divorce? What is going on with these rock stars, man? What do you mean you're getting catfished? What? All right. This was all last year. This is all kicking off last year. And then Ronnie Radke, of course, is just being so loud and boisterous about it. He's just like not letting this go. And he's saying, I didn't want to do this, but this woman posted my ex-girlfriend and then threatened me after driving to my house without me knowing any of this was going down. You read that correctly. Brittany Ferlin, Tommy Lee's wife, allegedly fell in love with a Ronnie Radke impersonator on Snapchat, drove to my house and sat out front, only for me to find out, and have Brittany threaten me and accuse me of lying and telling me the catfish is actually me. Oh my God, bro. This is unhinged behavior. Unhinged unhinged. Absolutely. For a normal person, for somebody playing Fortnite, for somebody out there just in Discord, this is unhinged behavior. Now, apply all this behavior to rich rock stars and their influencer wives who have millions and millions of followers. Brittany Ferland not only got catfished by a fake me, she also refused to believe me, calling my lawyer and threatening me. Brittany, if you are reading this for the last time, it wasn't me. Okay, Ronnie. I kind of actually think it was you, to be honest. This definitely seems like something Ronnie Radke would do, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. And then Ronnie Radke just kept going. He's like, I never respond to her DMs. Her last DM told me she was sitting outside my house like a weirdo. Okay. And then she responds to all this. But before we get to her response, I'm going to tell you about the digital release of my comic book coming April 1st. And I'm telling you right here, right now for free, I'm not fooling around, okay? I can't wait to get this out there and in the hands of everybody. Because when I released the physical copy a couple weeks ago, it sold out. It sold like hotcakes. So if you want to get caught up on my comic book that I wrote, that I drew, that I inked, that I colored, that I lettered, that I did all myself, that I sent out to the prints, that I got back from the presses, and that I sent out to the world, well, now you're going to be able to catch up on it. Because it's not just going to be a one-shot. This is issue 1 in a 5-issue arc that I have planned. So if you want to read this entire story, this is going to be a time to catch up. April 1st, digital copy. And then after that, I'm hoping to get a print-on-demand thing going. But we'll see about all that. Okay, jumping back into the drama, Brittany responds to Ronnie. She leaves this voice message that goes on and on and on. Now, basically, I don't want to read this entire thing to you. I know your attention span is as short as mine, and I don't want to read this entire thing to you. Because it's a voice note, there's no punctuation. It's absolutely so hard to read. I read it before shooting this thing, so basically, let me break it down to you really quick. What she's doing over here is basically saying, how can you, Ronnie Radke, say that that's a fake you sent me a video before I did a podcast, and in that video, you said, have a great podcast, babe. How could a catfish do that? And I'm jumping out here to add some context here. This is before Sora and AI made this kind of stuff really, really believable. So she's basically saying that there was a Snapchat video sent to her on a day that she was doing a podcast with him saying, have a good podcast. And she also goes on to say that the person did that weird Zoom thing that he always does as a signature in his messages or whatever. I don't know anything about any of that. So she says all that. Then she also says she went to his house and sat there like an idiot and then came home to an angry Tommy Lee. And Tommy Lee confronted her, and then she admitted to the whole thing. Then and there, right after that. She was like, oh yeah, I've been talking to Ronnie Radke, apparently, and I went to his house to have this dinner date, but he stood me up. So either way, if she got catfished or not, if she got dragged into this or not, if she was manipulated or trolled or not, she was out there trying to cheat on her husband regardless. Cheat on her husband with a younger man. The younger man being a 40-year-old, because Tommy Lee is what, 63 or something like that? Cheating on him with a younger man, the 40-year-old Ronnie Radke. Jesus Christ. So anyway, all of that was last year. Apparently, this was the whole thing that made Tommy Lee and Brittany Ferland have a separation or whatever. And people just kept sending Ronnie Radke things. He kept blasting this out to his audience. His audience was blasting it out to him. And last year in January, Radke filed for a restraining order of his own. And you know what? That restraining order was denied. They're like, sorry, you don't have enough anything over here. And by that, I mean, it was initially rejected by not meeting emergency criteria, citing the TMZ article that this comes from. So that was kind of where the drama was last year. TMZ even caught up with Ronnie Radke, and believe me, I would love to play this video, but TMZ is very strict with their copyright, and I'm not going to try to play around with that, okay? But basically, Ronnie says that he plans on subpoenaing Snapchat to get the metadata and the IP address so he could track down the perpetrator, track down this Ronnie Radke digital cosplayer so he could finally clear his name. In this clip, he also claims that he's sick and tired of hearing about this drama, which is very rich because he keeps talking about the drama. But anyway, he's also told in this interview that Tommy Lee just wants the idiot Ronnie to shut up. And then Ronnie's reply to all that is, I have a bunch of fans too, you know, they send me stuff. And his reasoning for replying to it all is he doesn't want people thinking that it's him. Even if he's right, even if he didn't do the catfish, he's still a hypocrite because he's basically being like, shut up. I don't want to hear about this. Let's brush this under the rug. He's the one talking about it. He's actually the loudest voice in the Ronnie Radke drama. He's not a very bright lad. Not a very smart guy over here. And then Brittany Ferlin, well, she wanted to have a stab at this whole restraining order thing because, like I said, his voice, Ronnie Radke's, is the loudest out there, and it's gonna bring his crazy ass fans all to her. So even though this all started because she was trying to cheat on her husband with a younger man, she's the one who's getting the restraining order. It is insane how this story is playing out because it actually was approved. In an article that just came out today, it says, Brittany Ferlin is finally getting the court order protection she's been desperately seeking from Ronnie Radke. A judge has granted her a restraining order that will stay in place for the next 2 years. According to court documents obtained by TMZ, a judge granted Brittany's request for a civil harassment restraining order. Basically what that means is Ronnie Radke has to stay at least 100 yards away from her home or her workplace, and he can't contact her either directly or indirectly in any way. That means he can't talk about her online. He can't make posts. He can't shit talk. He's done talking about her. He can't even reply to this video because it would break that whole thing, which is a real shame. I really hope that I do find some Ronnie Radke enjoyers down there in the comments. I always do every time I talk about this clown. And it really isn't surprising that he just keeps taking L after L. And I really wonder if the judge looked at his case with Fantano and was like, you know what? This guy's character is pretty bad. This guy's a shithead, actually. So I'm going to be a little bit more lenient with anybody trying to seek justice against him. Really funny, really stupid. Celebrity rock and roll catfishing situation. Ronnie Radke and Tommy Lee Jones. That's incredible. Okay, I'm ending this video right now. Okay, goodbye. See you later. Have a good one.